Hi everybody, welcome to Face to Face. A very fun time. I mean, we've been doing this 12 seasons. I have never had a guest like this, and this is what it's all about, is bringing in new guests and new people for you to meet on my show. It is Mark Bradac. He is the Pond Man of Windsor. How are you?
Yo, hi John.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Welcome. Look at this, rings and things.
What do you think?
Look at this.
Well,
I guess
you
you
know.
got to have that look if you're a pond guy.
You think so? You
Look
don't
at
think
this.
it's too much?
No. Don't worry about God. Don't worry about gaudiness. We've had politicians and other people here.
There you go. Can send them down my way. I can hook them up.
Well, let's talk about this. You have just, skyrocketed of what a Pond Star. I mean, we're calling you Pond Star, but we know he's the Pond Man. But the Pond Stars and the fun thing it's been with the people in Vegas and everything, and some other TV shows. But you got picked up. So, but this is not something you just created. You have lived this life.
Yes.
Talk about growing up in the Pond family.
Well, first of all, John, I'm 56 years old. I was just getting ready to kind of grab the rocking chair, retire, sit on the Ponderosa. That's the name of my ranch.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
The Ponderosa.
The Ponderosa, P-A-W-N. I guess it's appropriate.
Sure.
And, contemplating, looking at the sky and bigger things, and I'm, getting older, and I get a phone call. And here we go, chasing this dream again with the pond thing. But it starts way back for me. I've been in the pond business, actually, since I've been 11 years old. My dad by trade was a radiologist, but he came from the old country. He was
here locally?
Locally at Hotel du Hospital.
Okay. All right.
And he came from the old country, and like a lot of people that came after the Second World War were penniless, and he loved his junk. So he would accumulate this stuff, and he just couldn't let it go.
You know what they call it now?
What?
It's called being a hoarder, and that's a whole other show.
Yeah, okay.
So you may end up on that show,
He
too.
is. Well, I'm not a hoarder.
No, you're
not. In fact, I'm the only pawnbroker that's a minimalist.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
I just like to sell things. That's pretty funny, yeah, because the other guys on the show are just collecting everything,
Sure.
They just love it. Me, no, I'm not much
There's
for
no
it.
money in collecting.
Well, I've been in it for so long,
Right.
I guess you just get tired of
So
looking
11
at
years
stuff.
old, your dad starts into this.
Well, my dad's at home, and my mother, and he's just collecting this stuff, and the house is getting fuller and fuller, and she says, you really got to get this stuff out of the house. And so his idea right away was, well, you would buy a place on Main Street, Windsor, which is Wyandotte, 1970, 1969, and he just stuck all his junk in there. And he really didn't plan on opening a store of any sort, but he loved the putts with TVs and stuff.
Sure.
So he would sit around
And what was the name of it back then?
Economy Exchange.
So
it's
that
been
was
there
it?
43 years.
Okay, so it was the same thing.
Same thing.
Same
He bought
name.
it off an old gentleman. The store actually used to be in front of the Windsor Arena, the old barn there.
Yep.
And then we had moved it to this location, which is a couple blocks
Yeah.
up. But he would just love to hang out and fix his things, and he made me work. He would never give me any money. He was that type of guy.
But so what was the business then?
Just a
stuff that he
second-hand
had? Yeah,
business. It
secondhand,
wasn't a
okay.
pawn business.
All
It was
right,
a second-hand business. But his idea of doing, buying stuff was going to the Sally Ann or the St. Vincent de Paul. He'd buy up all
garage
their
sales
junk
or whatever,
and he'd
yeah.
just dump it all in the store, go through it, fix a couple TVs.
Boy, oh boy, this is a collection. Think about this. This is hoarding. This is Hoarder Show. This is Storage Wars and Pawn Stars all wrapped into one with your
There you
life.
go. And this is 1969, so it's before everybody, right?
Wow.
And he would, I'd say, Dad, can you give me $5 or something? He'd say, absolutely not. You go work for it. So at an early age, he would stick me down there to fend for myself. And he would sit upstairs in the back room with his friends and drink a couple glasses of vino. And I'd be down there on Wyandotte and Parent, slugging it out at 11 years old.
Cool.
Which was really crazy. And at the same time, most of my life has been playing music.
Now you were in the band Tees.
I was in a band called Tees back in 1975 through 81.
And what kind of music did you play?
That was, I'd say it's rock and roll.
And where'd
more
you
like
play?
a foreigner. We played all over the world.
Covers?
No cover tunes. It was all original band.
Wow.
We got 3 gold records.
Come on.
Yeah, and we went to Japan and we went to Europe and we
What was
played.
your number one song?
Well, our biggest song was "Sweet Misery." I'm not going to say it was number 1, and we have put out a best of album, but that's kind of, we didn't have
It's
any
all
hits. So
Windsor?
how do you have a best of album?
Yeah, that's okay. Well, it's
"Sweet Misery,"
okay.
which is kind of like Kiss had Beth, and Poison. They had that song called "Every Rose Has Its Thorn," and we had "Sweet Misery," which was kind of nothing what the band was. It was a laid-back kind of country tune with a Floyd Kramer piano in it, and we were just blitzkrieging across the country and. That tune was not indicative of what we did.
Well, Windsor guys?
All Windsor boys, yeah,
Wow.
all Windsor boys. We left Windsor after about 13 high schools together, we met this gentleman. It was crazy. It was just same thing with Pontham, which we'll get into later.
Yeah.
You know, but just I guess meant to be. We went to Toronto. And then from there we went to Montreal. And that's a great story because we were with a guy in Toronto that was managing us, and we didn't know. We just went to Toronto,
Yeah.
right? Bunch of guys, you know, roadies, family, everybody moved in this house, 15 people, like a bunch of gypsies in Willowdale. And eventually it didn't work out, and we went to these people, and our manager had sold a bit of us because we needed money.
Yeah.
This didn't work out, and we had got wind of that, and we wanted to meet these new people, which we had never met. And this is how our lives had changed.
Yeah.
So one day we were off the road, and we called these people because we knew they were in Toronto, and they said, we really got to meet you now because we're not happy with our manager, and I think he's not doing you right either, so we should meet. No, we can't meet you. We can't meet you. You got to meet us. We're leaving again. They eventually, you know, buckled, and he said, okay, come down to the Windsor Arms Hotel. And we're 18, ripped jeans and stuff. The Windsor Arms is like a millionaire's, I don't know, I didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
Walked in, the foyer had a flautist and a harp player, like, you know. And we walked into this room, and I was 18 years old, and there they were sitting with the Rolling Stones. And you know, then you automatically know you're in the right hands. Wow. And then from there, they just could say, well, you're on the Aerosmith tour, you're on the Cheap Trick tour. They had the ability to do that. Good. And the rest was history.
So the show business of what you've done and being part of that group has got to help you in the show business of where you're at now. So bring us up to date of where we now really get to know you. Never mind just as a business owner on Wyandotte. By the way, how is business on Wyandotte?
Business is better.
Do you eat shawarmas?
But yeah, you have to in that neighborhood, right?
I'm telling you, Elmere is
great
one of the
restaurant.
greatest, and there's a few down there. I don't want to start naming them, but
In
my
fact,
friends at Elmere are one of the, you know, Camille and everybody, all the family there. They get good desserts.
I know,
too.
it's great food.
Really good.
And there's another one on Olette Street called Mazier's or something that we're going to go do. Mazar's.
All right,
Yeah.
okay. All right, sorry.
Okay, yeah, okay.
just-
Anyways, with Pontham,
Yeah.
so like I said, I'm sitting sitting at home. Or I'm at the store, I get a phone call. They don't tell me who they are. They don't say anything. They just say, we're a production company from Toronto. We're thinking about shooting a pawn show. Can you tell us a couple stories? That was it. And I said, and I got some crazy stories. If you want to hear a quick story, I'll tell you that I told them, but I'll tell you in a second. So then they heard these stories and they said, wow, you sound like a whack job. I says, oh, thank you.
And from a producer, that's really good.
There you go, yeah. And then they says, well, do you mind if we come down and film you? And I said, okay, yeah, sure, come down. Another leap of faith. I don't know who they are still. Come down, one camera, a couple of people. And at the time, Pawn Stars was just coming out and getting big. And I had known that they, you know, they bring in their appraiser stuff, their expert. So they come in and said, I'm a guitar player. So I wore my real hillbilly clothes from my farm, you know, because I have a ranch too. And I was like that, and I started explaining this guitar because that's what I know about, and that's what I was doing on tape, right? And then I says, well, you know, I should really get my expert because I'm just kind of know things. And so I left the room and I came back dressed as a pop star. And then I said, you know, it's kind of a low budget operation, so I got to play all the parts. And they kind of found that humorous. And then I shredded the guitar for like 5 minutes, and they loved it. And they left, and they still didn't tell me who they were. And I just forgot about it. And 2-3 months later, they got a hold of me and said, we're History Television, and bing, bang, boom, and here I am.
So how often are you on Pawn Stars? I mean,
Pontham, Canada.
Pontham, Canada.
Well, we've shot 2 seasons now, and it's just a summer series. The first season was only 4 episodes, but it was, you know, they're telling me it's a big hit. I don't know the numbers, but I think they're pretty good.
Are you recognized?
Absolutely, absolutely.
As before
everywhere.
this show?
No, now it's, yeah.
Just think where you're going to be now. So tell us.
It's going to be unbelievable.
Well, one of the things, obviously, Pawn Stars. I went down to the Vegas thing and saw all that. I'll tell you, they should be charging admission for all the people going. And really
they don't.
Half the place is all T-shirts and memorabilia of these people, Chumley and Rick and everybody and Haas or whatever, Hogg or whatever.
Can I show you something here?
What do you got?
I got something here for you.
Oh, look at this, $100 bill.
101.
$101 bill.
That's right. It's worth a buck more.
That's good. $101 bill. Well, that's a first because usually if politicians and stuff on here, they usually pay. But there's $101.
What I'm trying to figure out is where is that redeemable? Because I haven't found the spot yet.
I'll talk to some politicians. Okay, let's talk a little bit about where you're located. First off, where does someone come?
Well, I'm on Wyandotte and Parent. Been there for 43 years. It's nothing fancy. It is what it is. It does its job. For all those years, I never really advertised because, like I said, it's funny because I was in the music business, and the pawnbroking was supplementing, you know, my music because everybody has to pay the bills, and obviously, you know, you can't music.
So what is a pawnbroker?
A pawnbroker is a man that is a person, not necessarily a man, is a person that's going to lend you money on certain collateral that you have, and you have a period of time to come back and redeem it. So it's kind of short-term loans, mostly in the $100, $200.
Are you legislated?
Of
Are you
course,
under
yeah.
rules and
There's an Ontario Pawnbrokers Act, and probably it's one of the oldest businesses in the world. In fact, I think Queen Isabella had pawned the crown jewels to send Christopher Columbus to America. That's a story.
Boy, boy.
So
no
that's
one has mentioned Christopher Columbus in 12 seasons I've been doing this.
There you go.
All right, let me ask you a question. How long, what is the usual term that someone will have to get their money back?
Well,
get their item back?
Traditionally, it used to be yearly,
Is it a year? Okay.
and now it's monthly.
Is it monthly?
It's
What's the average for Windsor, Essex? People that come in. Is it usually 30 days, 60 days, 90 days?
It's hard to say. It goes in increments of 30 days, and if you can't pick it up in 30 days, then you pay a little thing I call it's freight. You know, pay a little charge, and then you go on for another 30 days, and they could possibly go on as long as they want.
When we're in the economy we are now, is it better for a pawnbroker?
Absolutely, yeah. A pawnbroker
than
is
not?
thriving during hard times because people are letting their stuff go. I think what's different about me and that people know about me is I really have a tough time being a pawnbroker and taking things away from people that they treasure and they can't afford to get them. So on the show I call myself the poorest pawnbroker in Canada because I've got probably the biggest heart, and people that know me know that about me, you know.
So let me ask then, if I walk in your store and I see something, a ring or something that I want to buy, can I just buy that?
Absolutely, but not the stuff that they have. There's the stuff that's pawned is put away in storage.
Put away.
Yeah.
But if someone does not pick something up, or
Goes into the retail
and that's
section.
the retail aspect of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if it's out there on display, someone can come in there and buy it.
And I would absolutely say to buy your jewelry there because I think it's way more competitive than any of the jewelry stores, especially if you get to know your pawnbroker.
We're going to talk to you about some of the interesting things, and we're going to show a couple things. And I even hear that we have a very, very special guest. Your bodyguard, Willie, is coming.
Willie?
And he's going to bring something worth tens of thousands, at least more than 10,000.
Yeah.
20
Willie
grand?
is the keeper of the watch.
All right. We will meet the keeper of the watch, and so keep watching.
That's right.
Right after this. Since 1939, Master Cleaners has been Windsor and Essex County's choice for service and reliability for all your dry cleaning needs. You will look your best at work, galas, and special occasions. Master Cleaners have 4 locations to serve you in the Green Valley Plaza in Tecumseh, Dougal and Cabana, Malden Road in LaSalle, and their main location on Ottawa Street across from Lansbury Park. Master Cleaners is a proud sponsor of Face to Face. Hi everybody, welcome back to a very special edition of Face to Face. I'm telling you, we have Mark Bradac, and he is our pawn guy, the pawn man, who lives at the Ponderosa and everything. We're so to a pawning, and there's no one named Chumley, so I'm really happy about that.
And let me say something. I'm feeling pawntastic.
Fantastic. You got them all down, eh? Oh, you got all that. Now we got something we want to see about this. Now, do I got to get ready for this? What do I got to do? We got
Well,
big
first of
item
all,
coming in.
I'm going to introduce my my personal security man.
All right, here he
Willie
comes.
Rayback.
All right, Willie.
Raybrook.
Willie, come
Well,
on
I just
in.
hired him.
Come on in. Come on in. Just walk over
Yeah,
here.
Willie Raybrook.
Don't say a word because then we'll have to find out
No, he
more.
doesn't speak.
All right, have a seat there.
Wow.
Look at this.
I'm afraid of him myself, John.
All right, have a seat. And what do we got here? You want to pass that over?
Wow,
Hang
we got a
on.
violin case.
Look at this.
Oh, John, we have to
hang
give
on.
you a set
Look
of
at
gloves
this.
to touch this.
Oh, this will be good.
Oh, this is
this will be good.
special.
Putting these on here. All right.
This here is this is my pièce de resistance.
Hang on a minute. I got my gloves. Now, why do I got to wear gloves and you don't?
I am. We're all
I
going to
gotta
wear
put
gloves.
These, look at these, folks.
I like to say I just picked them up at the Canada Salvage.
Look at these.
Well,
Look at this. They got them falling apart.
Look, we got
There's 20 pounds of potatoes in a 10-pound bag right
Hey,
here.
it's a
look
low
at
budget
these,
operation.
Look at these sausage fingers. All right, here we go. All right, let's see what we got. Look at this. Look at this.
Look,
case.
okay,
Let's
you
bring
go
it
look.
over like
Okay.
this. All right, so we got a violin case. You're seeing all this.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. That's
All
right
so
from
here
my
we go. We're gonna open this up.
my buddy Willie Raybrook.
Here we go. Oh, we got something
And it's
in here.
inside
Look at
there.
This. Ooh. Look
This
at
is from Ponthon, Canada.
Are you serious? This is something we've
Yeah,
have
this is
seen?
something I
Ooh,
acquired there.
yes. Wow.
What we are
Wow.
looking at right now
Okay.
is the Rolls Royce of watches.
Oh, look at this.
This thing will
Ooh.
kick Rolex's butt.
Look at this.
What we have is a Swiss-made Patek Philippe, made in 1870. It has a hunter case, which you notice, and it's all done in 18-karat
Look at that,
yellow
just
gold.
opened up on its own. Look at that.
It's
18 karat
beautiful.
gold.
This is unbelievable.
And now something like this, if we were to get it retail, never mind what you're pawning it for, but what would a retail on something like this be?
Well, first of all, I got it on the show, and I got it for a bargain at $3,800.
Okay.
And it's no secret because it's national,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So,
fine, that's fine.
but the watch appraises at $10,000.
Wow.
And I think if it went to Sotheby's or Christie's or something like that, and two gentlemen were
I
bidding
want to close
against
this up,
it,
and I want to put this thing back in the bag because I don't want it falling. I don't want.
yeah, it's got
you
a
know.
porcelain dial.
Okay.
So in
I don't
in
wanna be messing with
150 years, it's never fell because it would just shatter.
Okay, I don't want to shatter it. I want to close this up. I want to close this up.
Oh, we can take
and
the
put
gloves
that,
off?
Take this and.
Isn't my
Look at this here. We got a little case. I say you're playing it really well here. All right. Okay. So we're going to put that down. We're going to talk about that kind of thing. So something like that, someone comes in and says, "Hey, I'm going to pawn this. I've got this to give away." How do you evaluate what it is? Do you have experts like we've seen on TV?
I do.
before?
I do have some experts, not necessarily in the store every day, but I
got
guess.
people?
Well,
You got your people.
yeah, I got my people, and my people sometimes see other people, and we meet for lunch. No, for me, the school of hard knocks. You know, I've been at
You've
it
seen
for
the
so
eye,
long,
You've had it, yeah.
and you just get a feel for these things. But you can obviously see how beautiful it is, and that
So-
it's really gold. And
So the time someone brings it in, is there sometimes a gap between what you evaluate it for and what you decide what you want to pay for it? Is there, or can you do it all in an hour? I mean, if someone were to come in with something,
it
and
happens
saying,
in
"Look,
5 minutes. That's it.
you don't need to call anybody or say, I'll get back
no,
to you."
that's the
bring it in."
beauty of maybe the internet these
Okay.
days, you know, because with the internet you got all that information at your fingertips.
What we've seen on the other TV shows around, it's been like the Antique Roadshow and people bringing things in and paintings and all that kind of thing. Do you get people doing that too? Just say,
Starting
"Hey, I've
to.
got an estate, you know, I'm just wondering what is this worth?" And then
Absolutely.
you have to go to work and find out for
Absolutely,
it.
absolutely. Well, I have somebody I work with in town, you know, and he's been, actually they taught Jerry Ferrari from G&G Golden Coins, and his son Jeff comes to Ponthon, Canada as one of my appraisers.
Great.
And he's been like a surrogate dad to me, and he's kind of, you know, showed me all the ropes over the years and hasn't been threatened by it, and we're good friends. And
Well,
so
we-
I have people like that I can confide in sometimes and find out what the value of things when I'm not sure. I have a painting guy, you know, and you know that has an auction house and things like that.
Do people
so
need to call ahead of time before they come and see you on
absolutely
Wyandotte?
not. No, absolutely.
Wyandotte and Parent?
Yes,
right there.
absolutely not.
Okay.
You just come in. You need ID, obviously, because everything that we purchase has to go through the Windsor PD in case it's stolen or
Yep,
something.
right.
But you would think, you know, I guess the stigma with pawn shops is you see that kind of thing that you hear about, you know, if it's stolen, go check the pawn shop. But I don't think that's necessarily true at all because we're so scrutinized by the law enforcement that a person would be a fool to bring it into our shop, and you know, because you need ID, you're on
Yep.
camera, get picture taken, and in the States they take fingerprints,
Yep.
and it's probably going that way. So
Good. All right. All the years, I mean,